Well, it's pretty obvious this truck has engine issues. It's a 2009 F450 with a 6.4 liter diesel. And something's come apart inside it. The noise you heard when I moved the truck from one bay to the next, it's a backfire. It's backfiring through the intake. And usually what happens is the exhaust valve's not opening for a particular cylinder or more. This thing runs okay though, so I'm pretty sure it's just one cylinder. Anyway, the exhaust valve can't open. Stuff's got to go somewhere, so it goes back out the intake, and you get that backfire. So now it's an 8-cylinder, so we got to figure out, you know, which one is it. I mean, do we just tear the motor out, tear it down, see what it looks like? We tear the left bank down, the right bank down. You know, we need to kind of sort it out, kind of get an idea where to go before we just start ripping. You know, back in the old mechanical days, you know, you could crack injector lines loose or shoot the exhaust manifolds with a temperature gun, you know, to see which cylinder's cold. But in this day of electronics, we could just use the scan tool. So let's hook the scan tool up. And let's check for codes. We had a break in the heat for a while there. It was only in the high 80s, but it's already pretty hot. It's 6 a.m., so maybe a hot one today. Muggy. There's a little bit of moisture hanging in the air. Humid. Alright, we got a smorgasbord here. We got a brake switch B, not worried about. We got an engine oil level too high, not worried about. We got a number 3 cylinder, number 6 cylinder, number 6 cylinder, brake and oil. So, since our number 6 flagged twice, I think that's going to be our trouble cylinder, number 6. Now the next thing we can do is we can do a power balance, but I'm pretty sure number 6 ain't going to be doing nothing. So let's just do a relative compression test. Let's see what they look like. Alright, so we got to have key on, we got to have a good battery, and we got to press the throttle all the way to the floor, which on a diesel doesn't make any difference because the throttle is always open. However, we got to fool the computer, so all I've got to do is press the throttle to the floor and then let it back up. I don't have to sit there and hold it because I'm not sitting in the truck. And let's see if I can reach the key without blocking the camera here. I don't think I can. I'm going to have to move you. Alright, let's try this. Alright, here we go. As you can see here, number 5's down. I mean, 3's down, 4's down, 5 and 6, but 6 is down 11%. So, you know, this relative compression test is not the most accurate thing in the world. I wouldn't go on it all by itself. However, the engine noise, the misfire on 3, misfire on 6, contribution on 6, and that we're gonna take this driver's valve cover off. That's where cylinder number 6 is, and have a look, see what the rocker arms look like and the push rods and, you know, all that good stuff. So we're all done with this. We can button this up. So we'll just leave that there. Let's go back under the hood. The number 6 cylinder is under all this crap, so I'm gonna take this crap out of the way. I like to drain the radiator a little bit because you gotta take the DS bottle out, which is also the battery tray. So we gotta take that out. It's kind of messy if you don't drain it. I could just pull the hose off of it and cap it real quick, but if the radiator is full up to here and the hose is down there, if you leave it open, you're going to drain the radiator until they're level, and that's a lot of antifreeze. So we'll start the old girl by draining it, and then get the battery cables loose because I got to take this battery out. The crossover for the turbo's in the way, so we get that out of the way and pop this valve cover off and have a little look-see. I'm not sure what the thought process was behind putting this drain cock for the radiator right there, upside down, with the drain coming out sideways, so the antifreeze shoots out that way, and you get soaking wet trying to get the plug out. They really trying to figure out a way to screw us. I can pop this battery out. This is it's got 2 batteries, so disconnect both negative battery cables. Got a little corrosion on these cables. Drop my nut. Hurt my back the other day. Put a moonroof in a Super Duty. I take the seats out. Man, them things are heavy. I picked one up the wrong way. Feeling it right now, and I'm not looking forward to picking my battery up. Not at all. Just sit that battery on the concrete floor. Alright, so she's loose now. Man. All we gotta do now is disconnect the coolant supply hose. These things have these little spring clips, and mixed reviews about them. Here's the clip. And I like to go flying, but you can never find them again. Just pop the hose off. Now I am going to plug that, just because this degas bottle is forever holding extra coolant. Let's see if we can sneak this thing out of here. This operator hose is kind of in the way. If you hold your mouth just right, it'll come right out. Alright, now you can see why I capped that, because we have fluid coming out of that. I don't want to cap that, but normally I don't hold them at that level to get them out. So now we got a bucket of antifreeze. It's impossible to carry, especially to our antifreeze recycled bin. So I just poured up a 5-gallon bucket. I can carry a 5-gallon bucket pretty easy. There's nobody here with me. And the air compressor just came on. So we have a leak. I've only used my impact to take out 4 bolts. I like to keep things kind of clean. So I'm going to hit that little bit of water and pour it out. Doesn't take but a second, and it keeps me from tracking this stuff all over the shop, up to the parts counter, in the customer's cars, and that kind of thing. And this mop's dry. This is a dry mop head. Until I pick up some, I don't ever dip this mop ever into a bucket of water. Clean water, water that's got water that's got cleaning solution in it, Red Max, whatever you clean your floor with. That's not what an automotive mop is designed to do in a shop, especially with a floor like this. It would be a waste of time to try to mop this floor. If I want to clean the floor, I'll put down the chemical on the floor, mix it with a little water from the hose, and just sweep it back and forth with a whisk broom, and then squeegee it, and rinse off the floor and squeegee it, and just let it dry in there. It's so hot around here, it'll dry in 30 minutes. Your floor is completely dry. But little spot mops, like at a grocery store, if somebody's got this little black streak on the floor, they spot mop it. And basically it's just a mop that's been wet just a little bit, just enough to pick up what's on the floor. So now, let's see what we're going to see. Got our battery tray out of the way. We can actually see our valve cover somewhat. So now we got to get this monstrosity out of the way here and finish getting the rest of the valve cover off. And I'm going to replace that O-ring that's in that hose there. So I'm not going to put the clip back in the hose because those O-rings, they get flat. I mean, once you take them apart, they're pretty much done and you don't want to reuse them. So I'll leave the clip out till we get the O-ring in there, make it a little easier. And again, here's the clip. You can imagine trying to find that if you dropped it in here somewhere. You're better off just getting a new one. Alright, so this is probably without a doubt one of the weirdest setups I've ever seen. I mean, it's like when they were building this engine, they had a bunch of nuts and bolts laying on a bench, and just whatever they had laying around, they'd mock this thing up, put it together, and then all of a sudden it ended up in production, and they never got a chance to actually fix it. Just nuts and bolts don't make any sense here and there. So this is the return heater hose. Disconnect that and get it out of there. Use my trusty heater hose removal tool. Case like this, when I got a lot of loose bolts, under the hood that can go rolling everywhere, I use a magnetic tray to put everything in. Like that. You're walking around aimlessly. Got how short these bolts are. Flying right out of there. They hit the floor though, so we're good. We'll retrieve it later. Alright, now for the overflow bottle, it takes care of the fuel cooler. This is what I'm talking about. You got this bracket. It's bolted to this guy and this guy. So this guy can bolt down. And why not just bolt that to that? Well, I mean, it's silly. So now that's loose. I'm good to go there. Don't have to worry about that. I gotta take off this bracket, these bolts here, and dipstick tube, and turn around in front of it. There again, it's one of these weird bracket setups. It's just multiple brackets. Now we've got to, this is actually a crossover tube for the turbo. It goes from high pressure turbo to low pressure, or low to high. So we gotta pop it loose from the seals. We're gonna take, Ford wants you to take this loose from this bracket, but it's still in the way. It doesn't do any good. So it's got two seals in there. You're supposed to replace them every time. If you don't, you leak. Leak air. Leak boost. That. Now I'll show you all these parts when I get them off the vehicle at one time. Look at them a little closer. Right now, let's just get this overall apart. The top bracket, and this is the bottom bracket. That is that. So now we got the low plug harness. We'll take it out. Just through the valve cover. It's kind of delicate. It's such a burly diesel truck, a lot of delicacies on it. The right word I was looking for. And low plug harness. Now we can take the valve cover off. Should we do that before we eat? Yeah, we're right there. We'll do it before we eat. Come on, spritz her with a little air. Blow the shit out of the way. It's only 7:15, so. So keeping up with time, you may be thinking that been here an hour, 15 minutes. I ain't got much done to this truck, but I did do a few other things before we started in this truck. And then between off camera. These bolts are all captured, so we don't have to mark where the studs are and try to catch them or whatever. They're not going anywhere. They stay in the balcony. Which makes it a little easier, not a whole lot, but a little. Got a throttle jockey over in the parking lot. Drives me nuts. They ain't going anywhere. Nowhere. The third gear is doing 20 miles an hour. Build this engine the way it is. They could use a stern talking to what not to do. This could always be worse. It could be a Duramax. And this is in the way. She's close. Success. That'd suck if I took the wrong side apart. This is the intake rocker, and this is the exhaust rocker. I can move it around a little bit. I mean, they'll all move. I mean, go back over to this one. This is number 4. Move it a little bit, and that's the intake. Move it as equally as much for the most part. So now, right meow. So there's the bad news. The real bad news is it was cylinder number 3 and not cylinder number 6. So took the driver's side apart for no reason, and now I'm on over to the passenger side. And our rocker bridge is falling off and is laying down in the cylinder head there. And I'm going to remove this whole rocker assembly. I'm not going to film it. This has turned into a big yank, and they're hot after this thing. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the fuel lines out and the injectors out, just get them out of the way. And then I'm going to pull this fuel rail off of here, and then I can get access to the rocker assembly. I'm going to take the rocker assembly completely off the engine, and then I can examine the push rod and the lifter, and I can compare it to the other exhaust, make sure it has the right amount of lift, because you really can't get to the lifters on these with the cylinder head on, but I can at least make a determination if I've got full lift or not, because if the lifter breaks, you'll lose a little bit of lift on it, like if the rollers fall out of the roller part of the lifter. And we don't want to sell them a rocker arm assembly if that's all, if it needs a lifter and a camshaft. So I'll get this apart and I'll turn the camera back on.